Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm here with one of my most favorite people. I call her Ally B. Trying to pronounce
Exactly
that.
how everybody used to call me in high school. It's way
Yeah.
easier. Let's just go. I'll even change my name down there in the corner.
That's all right. We're so happy to be with you. This is our last show, last episode before the new year, because we're actually headed out to enjoy some much needed rest, family time. Allie's getting married and going on a mini moon, so that's super fun. Ally, go ahead and introduce yourself to the lovely people.
I'm Ally. I am a writing guide, ghostwriter, author, and girlfriend all rolled into one. I'm here to help you brave people who have a book in your heart actually do the dang thing and believe in yourself in the process, because our stories have the power to change and heal the world. So we need you out there with your books, spreading your message and your light and your brilliance. And I'm here to support you in doing that.
Beautiful. And I am Shannon Hernandez. If you're new to me and my world, you can call me Shannon. It's fine. I am a joyful business growth strategist. And what that means is we help you come to the joyful side of business and life, tapping into your lifestyle values and understanding your soul goals. So you remember your why, you remember your mission, and you grow from that space. We have a mantra around here: if it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit. And we have helped thousands of coaches and consultants around the globe grow their business through the lens of joy. And I just want to say, joy to the world. Tis the season.
All the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, and joy to you and me.
Ally, tell them what's up today for this episode of the stories that grew us.
Okay, so for those of you who have not caught on or haven't been catching the replays, which you really need to do because these are so freaking fun and fantastic, this is a time for Shannon and I to come and basically gather around story and humanness by pulling these impromptu subject lines that came out of a retreat that we went to, and talk about what comes up for us when we pull these subject lines. Now, what we did today is we actually pulled the subject line ahead of time so we could start to wrap our heads around what we were going to talk about. And believe it or not, this was one of the lines that came up at the retreat. Mushy and brown, 2 stars, we do not recommend. Now, we cannot for the life of us remember what prompted that subject line at the retreat. So any retreat goers who are there with us, if you remember, like, we're going to tag you because we want to know the backstory because we can't remember. But today, Shannon and I are going to be talking about what does Mushy and brown, 2 stars, we do not recommend, mean to us in this season of our lives. And who knows, it could be a magic moment, could be a messy moment, could be something in between. We don't know. Shannon, you want to start?
I do, but I don't know if it's appropriate.
Do it anyway. It's all about being human and being real.
I mean, when I saw Mushy and brown, I thought of that little poop emoji that just like, yep. It's mushy, it's brown. Like,
true. And honestly, somebody else out there was thinking it. You've only just put words to it.
So if we want a story about that, I do want to say, I had a hysterectomy that went bad 2.5 years ago. And there was a lot of trauma. My bladder was fused to my uterus. And anyway, they had to go in and do a whole bunch of extra stuff. And do you know, Ally, it has now taken me 2 years. I am finally on the path, the poop path. It has taken me 2 years to get my body recalibrated to how to go to the bathroom. It has been the craziest, most frustrating thing. But now that everything's flowing, I am good.
Oh my gosh. How did that end up when you were just traveling for that really fabulous, like, National Geographic trip? I mean, how was your body doing that?
Like anything, our bodies are so personal, right? And I have just been trying things for the last 2 years and trying to get the right mix to have like regular mushy and brown moments in my morning routine. And I have figured it out. I figured it out about 3 months ago. And so now I have to pack all this stuff to go with me. And it's not a lot, but it's like, I have to have lemon water in the morning, warm. These are all the things that finally came together to make everything work. Warm lemon water with 5 turns of pink Himalayan salt.
Wow, that's very specific.
Yes. 2 raw probiotic pills, lots of water, which is never a problem. In the evening, a magnesium supplement. Thank you, Amy Hager, for that addition. And then I have to take I bought raw psyllium husk. It's basically what's in Metamucil.
Okay.
Without all the crap in it. And I mix it with cranberry juice, pure cranberry juice, and chug that shit down in the morning. And finally, Mushy and Brown is good. In this
Mushy and Brown, 2 stars. We do recommend.
We do recommend Mushy and Brown, 2 stars in this case. I'm sorry if that was too much information for you all, but we're keeping it real here. And I just want to say, if you don't have regular bowel movements, it is not pleasant.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's true.
Your creativity is all stifled because you're holding all the shit in, literally. Your body is made to go to the bathroom and excrete things.
Yeah.
So
it's made to get rid of the toxins.
That's
it
it.
happens to all of us. And so what could be more human than that? Not to mention, though, a number of people who are watching this who might have experienced hysterectomies and had a number of challenges after the fact, right? Like, it's not like a light surgery. So, Mushy and Brown, I feel like I need to, mine needs to be like hard and brown, 2 stars, we do not recommend. And I'm thinking of that because my poor cat, she has the hardest stools, and she's been like this always. She has the hardest stools, and I have to bring her to the vet. She doesn't know it yet. I better keep that on the down low because she's glaring at me from just over a year. And I failed to collect a sample of the hard and brown to bring with me today to her annual appointment. And we have not been able to figure out like how to get her stools to be any different. Like she's got access to water all the time. We introduced more wet food into her diet. For a little while, we tried the Metamucil, like just a little bit of Metamucil in the food. She's just got hard and brown stools. And
does she drink water?
2 stars, we do not recommend. She does drink water. I mean, probably not as much as she should, but how do you force a cat to drink water?
Oh my God. I just read a book called An Elephant in My Kitchen. You want to talk about, it was crazy. This is a really good book. I actually would recommend it. I mean, it's real and it's sad, but it goes through this lady, she's in South Africa, and they open a rhino and elephant, like 4,500 hectares. That's a lot of acres. They open this sanctuary and they're trying to protect them from the poachers who are doing the for the tusks. But there were lots of orphaned elephants and rhinos that were brought there because they unfortunately watched their parents die and had like a lot of trauma. And so a lot of the book was, how are we going to get this tiny little thing who is now so petrified of humans to eat, right? How are we going to get this thing to eat? Because you got to eat in order to live. And so they had to do the craziest things. They had to like fill a rubber glove with a concoction of like, for the rhinos, it's soy milk, like so many eggs and some oil to like try and get the nutrient level the same as the mama's rhino milk. And they would fill a rubber glove and poke holes so it was like an udder and try and like feed it. But can you imagine how labor intensive that is? Because a rubber glove does not hold
a lot
much for a rhino to drink, right? Like it would take them hours to do a feeding, and they had to do this like 5 and 6 times a day. So rubber gloves for your cats, water, that's what I say.
I'll just be here for a while. Yeah, I don't know. So it'll be interesting. But bodily functions and eating and all that aside, Shannon, I really liked what we were talking about before we jumped on live about the Mushy and Brown 2 stars. We do not recommend when it comes to your business. So I found it really fascinating, some of the things that you've been hearing lately about people, what they've been saying about planning So let's riff off of that for a second.
Yeah, so we have a really amazing event coming up in January called Inspired Beyond Belief. We've run this event for several years, and for the first time this year, we have heard more times than I care to admit, more times than I think is healthy, and it definitely is a pile of shit and mushy and brown. What we have heard is, I don't need a plan for my business. Can you imagine, like, who grows a business without a fucking joyful plan to help guide them along the year?
And what I would like to say to those folks is good luck to you. Good luck to you in 2023. Wishing you all good things. Yeah, I don't know. As like somebody who has a plan for a plan for a plan and backup plans for days, usually, like, I don't, that does not speak to me whatsoever. Like, while I could say that there are times where maybe I could think a little less and go a little more with my gut, like, ultimately at the end of the day, it's been my strategic brain that has gotten me far, like in a lot of ways. A good balance between strategic brain and creative brain, but like I would never go into anything without some kind of plan, even if it was a loose one. At least there would be some parameters.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Unfortunately, we have a whole camp of freedom and flow people in the world who are shouting, plans don't work. You've got to tap into the flow. You've got to work on your mindset. You got to, whatever the fuck these people continue spouting about, there needs to be a balance. I call it structure and flow. We've got structure of a marketing plan, a business growth plan that's going to carry you forward, and you got flow to change things up. But at least you have a damn plan and some structure, because I don't know about you, Ally, but my father used to say, those without a plan to fail. And it's so true.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know if my dad had any catchphrases like that, but he was a, well, did you cross your T's and dot your I's? I don't know how many times he said that. Did you cross your T's and dot your I's? Like, did you think about this all the way through? Or let's talk that out loud. Like, like what would need to happen first, right? And now as a parent, when I'm trying to get my son to kind of be on board with something, or to, set some expectations or set some ground rules or whatever it is, I'll say, well, we need to come up with a plan. Let's talk about our plan. And now he'll say to me, like on the weekend or in the car on the way somewhere, he'll be like, Mom, what we need is a plan. And I'm like, yes, son, we need a plan. Let's create a plan.
I mean, even like, and I'm going to bring this back to memoir writing in a moment, but even like, we're getting ready to go to Quebec City. We're leaving Friday. Marie and I were going to drive up and do all the European Christmas markets, and we've never been there, but we at least have a fucking plan. Like, the plan is we're getting in the car Friday at 8 a.m. We're going to have snacks because we love snacks and road trips. That's part of the plan. And then we have our Google map. We've made dinner reservations at 8 p.m. at the vegan place near the hotel, because we don't want to have to rush, and we're going to take our time driving up. It says it's 8 hours, but who the heck knows, right? We have a structure and we have some flow in there so we can stop along the way. We've got some extra time. Like, I don't understand how people think they can just go about building a business that's going to serve them in all areas of their life without some sort of a plan. My brain just cannot conceive it. And I want to throw this back to you in terms of memoir, because you have a beautiful new resource out, which I'm super excited about. And it literally is a plan to get your damn memoir done.
Yeah, it is. It is a plan. In the writing community, we say that there are two kinds of people, that there are plotters and that there are pantsers. And a pantser is somebody who goes by the seat of their pants, and they sit down and they just like free flow write, and like whatever happens, and they don't really know where anything's going and whatever. And then there are the people who are plotters, which are the people who usually have an outline or a plan before they sit down, right, to work on their book. And I'm definitely in the mindset of a plotter, like, because I feel like even if you have like the inkling of an idea, if you sit down and you have absolutely no direction, you have no idea of where you're trying to go, then you're just going to waffle around on the blank page for minutes or hours or days or weeks or years or whatever it is, never getting anywhere because you didn't do any foundational groundwork to really understand what you're trying to say, who you're trying to say it to, how you should say it, like a number of different things. So like number one, not having a plan, Mushy and Brown, 2 stars, we do not recommend. And then there's a number of other things that happen, especially in memoir writing, that again, get a Mushy and Brown, 2 stars, we do not recommend, like, you know, throwing every single life experience into a book, you know, rather than curating the life experiences that make a certain point that you want to make, right? I actually used Mushy and Brown, 2 stars, we do not recommend, as the hook line for some social media in November when I was running a workshop that was all about gratitude for messy moments and basically like what memoirs are made of. And it was all around Thanksgiving. So Mushy and Brown, 2 stars, we do not recommend. I basically compared making really shitty mashed potatoes to writing a really shitty memoir. Like
why would a mashed potato be brown?
Well, if your mashed potatoes brown, then you did something wrong. Right? Like, so I was like, you know, if your memoir ends up overcooked or oversaturated, which is what would make it mushy, right? Or it's the wrong color because you weren't paying attention to detail, or, you know, you tried to cut corners by getting the Instamashed, which is just the powder and you add water, or, you know, whatever it is, like you were not going to create the tasteful experience that you're looking for. That's how I was using Mushy and Brown, 2 stars, we do not recommend, as a part of this campaign. But ultimately meaning that like know what memoir is, know where you're trying to go, understand, you know, what the plan is and the steps to take, right? Because all of that leads to a better experience, more joy, less overwhelm, more clarity. I mean, like all of the things.
Yeah. And Ally, you just said something that I want to just chime in on. You heard Ally use the word campaign. And she put together a campaign around Mushy and Brown or Thanksgiving and your memoir, whatever it was, right? And so if you're wondering like, oh my God, how could a campaign really be fun and joyful and pull in the right people? I invite you to reach out to me because this is some of the work that I do on the back end with brands who are mission driven, is come up with these fun campaign ideas to drive people to your events or to your experiences or to your offers. And Ally, I just wanted to say that because I know that, you know, this is one of the offers that I'm bringing to the forefront of this brand. It's been buried in like 6-month contracts or 12-month programs, but I really think there's a need for people to have more joy, more fun, build these creative campaigns. And so I'm like taking that chunk out that I do in bigger work and selling it as an offer. And I'm super excited about that. So thank you for reminding me about the campaign idea because it's important. I think that's where people, you know, get creative. It gets unboring. People pay attention because a campaign runs longer than a post, right? It's a campaign. Right. It's a creative campaign.
Here's the thing about that though. Campaigns, in order for them to work, have to be intentional. And if they have to be intentional, then they have to be planned. So this all goes back to this whole idea of like having a plan, right? Like, yes, you can have fun. Yes, you can be different and out of the box. Yes, your campaign can be fun and exciting and joyful. That does not mean that because it's all of those kind of left brain things that it doesn't require right brain thinking, right? Like the theme can be joyful and creative. The execution can be joyful and creative. But at the end of the day, you have to be intentional about like, and you talk about this all the time, Shannon, you know, what are you trying to sell? And what are the qualifiers of the people who you're trying to sell to? And, you know, how many days is this going to run for? And I mean, those are all elements of making a plan so that people might be consuming it or digesting it and being like, this is so wildly creative and awesome, and not realize that there's a strategy or plan behind it. But you as the person who is implementing, you have to have the plan or this stuff isn't gonna, it's gonna be more of throwing the spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. And on that note, Ally runs a monthly membership called the Writing Bar. And what I love about it is there is structure to our meetings. There is maybe a 10-minute teaching block where she dives into something that's going to make our content, make our memoirs, make our writing life better by paying attention to a certain, I'd say, tool or craft we can use in our pieces. And Ally, I really appreciate that in terms of the writing bar is a chance for me to come write and create. It's a chance for me to think about something that you're an expert at and to help us bring that back to center instead of, oh, I got to write this, whatever. And it's networking all rolled into one. Like, I have all the meetings on my calendar for January 2023. I mean, for 2023, and I'm looking forward to being there in community and doing that. And I don't know if you got a message, but I referred someone to the writing bar this weekend, and she said, "Ooh, I'm going to reach out to Ally." It was on Facebook. So if you haven't gone there yet, beautiful. You may have someone waiting for you.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta go check that out then. Yeah, the writing bar is a great place to kind of combine the strategic or kind of left brain thinking with right brain thinking, because there's also time to write, and that 30 minutes in the center is just beautiful for people to just go wherever they need to go. But a plan, people, we all have a plan, and that's what drives us, right? Like, and if you don't have a plan, then we're encouraging you to reevaluate why you don't have a plan. Because my thinking is if you're like, oh, shoot plans to the wind, then you're actually really avoiding something, or you're more attracted to your self-sabotage than your success. I don't know. That's the psychology in me that's asking you to kind of get curious about why you're telling yourself you don't need a plan and what that actually means. So Shannon, what do you want? Do you want to invite people to Inspired Beyond Belief so they can get their freaking plan together?
Absolutely. Come, please. Inspired Beyond Belief is our full day event on January 3rd and 2 hours coaching and implementation on January 4th. We are teaching you how to put your 6-figure plus success plan, a 1-page plan in place that is aligned with your soul goals. We've got your revenue generating activities front and center, so you don't come up to a month and be like, oh, I need clients. And then you're like freaking out, which happens if you don't have a plan, by the way. And we just invite you to come with us. It's $350. We are going to have a blast. We invite you.
And it's worth every penny. I went to this last year, folks. It was really, really terrific. I use these sheets throughout the year. I referred back to them when I started to do my planning for next year. You know, so it's really incredible, valuable 3-day experience. You want to be there, and $350. Come on, peeps. Like, this is a great price point for the amount that you're going to get out of those 3 days. So I am going to just give a shout out to what I'm doing over on LinkedIn, which is 12 days of Begin Your Bookmas. It's 12 days of giveaways, with every single thing that we're giving away having to do with supporting you on jumping on the journey of writing your book in 2023. Tip sheets, worksheets, exercises, ebooks. I mean, all kinds of valuable content that you have the chance at winning. And that's why I purposely, intentionally planned to wear my ugly Christmas sweater and put my Christmas tree in the background. Not because you need to believe in Christmas or celebrate to play along, but in the spirit of this campaign, which is all about giving around the holidays, I did it up. I'm even wearing my Santa earrings, okay?
I noticed your Santa earrings, by the way.
So if you want to play, and that's all you have to do is come over to LinkedIn, follow me. We're going live every morning of the business week at 9 a.m. Today was day 6, so we're halfway through, but we still have 6 more days of giveaways. We draw the next 3 prize winners tomorrow, but you have a chance until midnight tonight to claim the last 3 prizes by dropping your name into the comments. So head over to LinkedIn, find me. I'll put my link in the comments to come and follow and connect. But would love to give you some valuable resources to kick your journey off in 2023, and you can write the damn book and quit saying someday.
Yes. Everyone, we are wishing you a very happy New Year, a Merry Christmas, a happy Kwanzaa, a happy Hanukkah, all the things.
And more joy to the world.
Joy to the world.
All the boys and girls.
I really hate that
joy
song.
To the fishies in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
Bum, bum, bum. Joy to the world. Ally, take us out of here.
All the boys and girls. Joy to the fishies in the deep blue sea. And joy to you and me in 2023. Bye.
Bye, y'all.